Okay, let's go ahead and get started then. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast number 157. I am Wadabra, and here with me tonight I have the following lovely people. Tejan Lee.
Thank you for having me, Wadabra.
Wubwave.
Hello.
And also Chaos Mana.
Hi.
Also Chaos.
What?
Well, we have the Chaos, but the Chaos is different than Chaos Mana, because Chaos is Chaos, not Chaos Mana.
And then there's Mana Chaos, but we don't really talk about him anymore.
No. It's like Light One, right? We just don't.
Well, in the beginning of the first couple podcasts, there was a guy called Mana Chaos. If you go back and listen to those, he was a little different. He was a little off. So and now Chaos Mana came and killed that guy, and then came in, and now we have the Chaos Mana that we all love. Even though he's the evil version of Mana Chaos, we still love him more.
So
you don't usually love the evil version more, but
actually, sometimes, yeah, the evil version's usually more interesting than the good version.
Yeah, but they're the bad guy. You wouldn't want to hang out with that guy.
Depends.
Like, would you want to hang out with the mustachioed Star Trek characters? They want to kill you.
Maybe.
But they have mustaches, so they're twice as sexy.
Are you a mustache guy?
I like facial hair. If you shave your face, you look like a little boy, and I'm not about to have sex with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely back that up. Like, personally, when I shave my face, I look like a thumb. So, I prefer to have the facial hair just because it makes my face look more angular.
I want to see you with, like, a full-on beard at next RTX.
I wish I could. I can't.
So what can you grow? Just a goatee?
Just a goatee so far.
Every little bit helps.
Okay.
Like, I just keep giant sideburns. The rest of it doesn't really grow well at all.
I want to see those, too.
Chaos, I've seen a picture of you with a full beard. Like,
I do, but it doesn't connect, like, in the center of my face, so it just doesn't look right. And
well,
none of my mustache is existent as well.
Well, the low-res pictures you showed me before when I did that picture of you looked good, I thought. So, whatever.
Yeah, that looks nothing like him now. That's for the longest time, that was my picture of Chaos until I finally saw a picture of him. I'm like, you look like nothing like that fucking drawing.
Yeah.
It's a great drawing.
He shaved all of his facial hair off, and now he looks completely different. And I'm like,
from your drawing, I thought he was older. I thought he had, like, a bigger head. And, like, I'm like, oh, Chaos looks completely different. I was very surprised.
I was surprised, too. You're not the only one.
You still look great. Sure. But anyway, going into RTX, I think everybody needs to go full on as facial hair as they can.
Yes, I agree.
Especially Zach.
Especially.
I want to see his like one hair come out of his chin, and it's gonna be just as smooth as the hair on the top of his head.
Oh, okay, I'm kind of glad he's not here right now because poor guy. I think he would look ridiculous. He's one of the few people that'd be like, "Oh, sweetie, no, sorry, just."
It would have to be like one of those it would have to be very smooth, like long flowing beard, not like the shit that a lot of us have.
Yeah, I know. I've seen some people with his face type that could pull it off, but he would have a lot of trouble. Anywho,
remember the badass dude from Kill Bill, the old Chinese guy?
Yeah, well,
with that silky white beard.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I want to see Zach with that.
I want to,
and
but at the same time, the thought terrifies me. What do you call that when you're intrigued but terrified at the same time? Intriguified?
There is a word for that.
Intriguified. Yeah.
Terra-trigued? Yeah.
No, there's like an actual word for it. A combination of curiosity and terror. Somebody look that up.
Okay. Okay.
Morbid curiosity?
What do you call a combination of terror and intrigue?
Well, isn't that what that is?
No, it's just there's a single term for it.
Okay. Anyway, since you don't know.
Google failed me. The second result that it brings up is democracy elected Hitler to power.
Makes sense. Yeah. They were curious to see what happened. The same thing could happen with Donald Trump.
They did it for the lulz.
Yeah, the Germans, great sense of humor. and then they were like, "Ooh, no
So
thanks."
I've got a question for you guys before we get into talking about this Battleborn beta bullshit.
We may have answers.
Yes. So the question is, have you guys ever had or experienced a crush at work? A coworker crush, you could say.
Like you had the crush, or that you were the target of the crush?
That you have had a crush on somebody. Doesn't have to be a major one, just like where you find yourself like acting a little bit different, as if you're like hoping to impress them, or just something where you catch yourself acting different.
I do that with everybody, though. Anyone that strokes my ego, I immediately try to impress them. Like anyone who wants to manage me in the future, just be like, "Oh, you did such a good job," and I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Also, Battleborn just closed for me.
You tell them that too.
They're like, you'll understand eventually.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna get very close someday.
And this is why Wubwave will die alone. Okay.
Singular focus. What about you?
Me, I would have said mostly no, but I am in the midst of experiencing one right now, which is the reason why I wanted to ask if you guys have ever had this before. Because I don't know, it's a little weird. Like I'm very good at compartmentalizing, so I don't think I'm acting any different. But at the same time, it's like I'm like, what is this guy thinking about? What's he think of me? Or like, what did I just say? Oh, that was kind of stupid. Or it's not really stupid. Like, why is this even bothering me? Oh, it's like I'm starting I'm trying to start a date or something, and it's never going to happen. One, because this guy's not gay, and two, because I'm taken, and three, it's just stupid. But I'm like, oh, fucking shit. Why?
And that's I've
never.
What?
No, I was just joking. Then that's the story of how you met Ken.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I know Ken sometimes develops crushes at work too. It's so that's why I was wondering if any of you guys have experienced the same thing, where you just inexplicably have a coworker you're kind of attracted to, and suddenly you're like, oh my god, I think I'm crushing on this person, and I wish I really wasn't.
I would say in modern times, no. Just because I've been in such a long-term relationship. It's just, that's not even, a thing anymore. I'm kind of weird like that. It's just, that was oh, I'm in this relationship. Now I don't have to worry about that bullshit anymore. It's I'm just no more focus on that. I mean, there have been attractive people, and when I was a kid, I worked with a bunch of attractive people that I had crushes on. So, but now that, I'm in a different frame of mind, it's it doesn't affect me as much. There's a billion people at work I want to impress or need to impress, but not in and you guys know me, I flub everything ever. So I just do that normally. So it's I always look nervous and fretful. So you really probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference either way.
Okay, no, I'm not necessarily talking about acting particularly different. For me, I know I'm definitely not acting any different, but it's just I know that I have this irrational attraction going on, and it bothers me that it's there because it makes it harder for me to just concentrate on just doing whatever it is that I need to do.
Right.
It's I'm not here to impress you, but at the same time, some subconscious level of me is but I want to.
It sounds like the beginning of a rom-com, honestly.
Oh, this will be good.
How funny is your workplace?
Oh, it's really
goofy
funny.
Things happen there.
It's super chill and pretty relaxed as far as the interactions with everybody.
Just start setting up 3 cameras at different spots and microphones, and then just turn
Let's
it edit it all together as a.
Let's do this. Let's set this up. We'll come up with a snappy title for it after we record it.
Premium TFT Lays content here for sponsors only. Spy on Weedabrow's workplace. It's just live camera footage of just the shenanigans.
So that's a no for Wubwave. That's a no for Tejan Lee. And I already know Chaos is going to say no because Ray will kick his ass if he ever admits to anything like that.
He's already stabbed. Been stabbed. He's holding the wound right now.
so he can't be trusted even if he says no.
Why don't you extend it beyond just the workplace? Maybe just maybe even school and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, isn't that just a question of have you ever had a crush? And it's
well, let's talk about that.
Okay, if you want to.
I'm just saying, it can be a little more expansive. Like maybe, like if you relate it back to when we were in high school or something.
Yeah, well, I wasn't particularly interested in that, but if you want to talk about that, then let's go right on ahead. You tell us all about your high school crushes, and I'll pretend to be interested.
I had several high school crushes that made, and like I already did my I'm awkward thing from earlier, so there's that story.
Good job, Tejan. You just wasted 20 seconds of our time.
Well, I was hoping Chaos or Wub could expand upon this one.
I don't like anything.
Well, in my situation, I was more like, I didn't really care, just in general, and then the one person that might have had a crush on me, I'm that person that you see in certain shows that, like, completely oblivious to all things of that nature.
You're every anime protagonist.
Yeah, so not understanding anything at all, and
you're comfortable in your naivete.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I kind of have a story like that. In my freshman year of high school, when I went to like an actual physical school, I was like the kid that dressed all in black and didn't talk to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm basically the same way, except I wear different colors now. But back then, back then, like there was one girl who always talked to me, like out of the blue, and I think she was just talking to me to make sure I didn't shoot up the school. But I don't know, it might have been a crush. Who knows? I can't see in people's minds or know what their attractions are. And also, fucking Chaos, and accept this invite. I swear to God. This bait is tilting me.
We'll see. As a quick side, we were trying to play this new Battleborn beta, and it kept on disconnecting Webwave 3 times. And this last time, it disconnected him again, except it still started the game. So,
good.
So it forced me into it.
So I can stop procrastinating by talking about crushes, and we can actually talk about Battleborn like we were planning on?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I was going to expand upon it further.
Oh, no, please don't.
Let's go talk about Battletoads.
Oh, yeah. How about that? Let's talk about Battletoads instead of Battleborn, because I don't know anything about... I heard it was
probably one of the most impossible games ever.
It literally
Battletoads, one of their characters is coming to... what's that game that's on Microsoft? That's the fighting one. Jesus.
Something Killer other Instinct. Than Smash Brothers?
Killer Instinct.
I mean, is there any other fighting game besides Smash Brothers anymore? Like,
Mortal
does anybody
Kombat?
care about Mortal Kombat anymore?
Not really.
Yeah.
No one really cares about
Punchers.
No one cares about Street Fighter anymore. No one cares about Tekken anymore. No one cares about Soul Calibur anymore.
When's the last Tekken game come out? Is it still relevant?
I don't think it is. No.
All I remember from that game is that you fought with a tiger person and a giant panda.
Oh, yeah.
Like a bear was a fighter.
The last Tekken game I really enjoyed was Tekken Tag back on the PlayStation 2, because you could, have another person on your team, tag them out. Mm-hmm. And, it was just all sorts of really stupid funny. And then you could unlock that bowling mini game, and so you could use any of the characters and bowl with them. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I spent so many hours bowling in Tekken Tag.
You could have just gone real bowling.
No, real bowling is lame unless I'm wasted.
I was real bowling the other day. Real bowling.
I'm sorry.
I'm terrible. Apparently I threw the ball way too hard. And then at one point my 6-year-old nephew ran in front of me as I'm about to bowl, and he rolled his ball. He's like, my pins! And I'm like, I could have killed your son! Somebody grab this one!
Another little manslaughter to finish off a good bowling night.
Well, I mean, they would have been extra like for the pins, and I might have gotten a strike, but I wouldn't go that far.
A strike covered in blood. Okay.
But I keep diverting from Battletoads. Talk about Battletoads.
No. Okay. So no, seriously, we were gonna talk about Battleborn. So, for anybody who doesn't know, like myself, I just looked it up on the wiki. So Battleborn is an online first-person shooter video game published by Gearbox, and it's actually the first original title to be published by them since Borderlands back in 2009. So that's something. It's to be released worldwide May 3rd, and it's a hero shooter, whatever the fuck that is, and it's going to feature a multiplayer. It's a MOBA. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it's a MOBA.
What's a MOBA?
It's basically it's like a giant soccer game style thing. Usually, you look at the game from above, but certain ones like Smite let you would be a first person, and it's usually two teams fighting to get the and destroy the center goal of the other team.
It's like League of Legends, Dota, or Smite.
Well, I'm already bored. All right.
What's that
MOBAs
monster football game?
Monster
something
football
bowl.
FIFA?
Blood Bowl?
The way you're describing it right now reminded me of like a game that's old.
Blood Bowl?
But I think it's that. Is that it?
I don't know.
That might be it.
Words.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be it. I don't know.
Blood Bowl is a game.
Okay, let's just say it's that then. It reminded me of that game.
How's the game so far, Chaos? Since it's crashed twice.
A little odd because it doesn't. It like the map itself seems rather empty because there's supposed to be waves of enemies, but it basically turns every location into like its own battle station with people kind of hiding behind the shelter. It's hard to tell. It definitely is very close to what Smite is. Though not having played through Smite, it's hard. I can't tell if it's going to be different. There's definitely been mixed reviews on it that I've already seen. And it's also doesn't help because of its title that a lot of the other games that have come out recently, like Bloodborne, it's kind of fading into, not as many people knowing about it.
Seems like a unfortunate victim of its own poor naming in the midst of a bunch of other games that are named similarly to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That, and I think the MOBA style game
marketing
is kind of, it's in dire need of a serious refresher at this point.
I wouldn't say that. I would say if you want to get into that genre.
I don't know, but there's already a bunch of games that do that, though.
They each do it in their individual way, and the ones that are super successful, like Dota and like League of Legends, are constantly updating their entire, like right now, it's nothing like it was like even a few months ago because of all the changes they've been making. Just constantly updating, and it's still growing in popularity as, more and more official, like even news channels are like taking it on.
Yeah, I would say if you wanted to make a game that is in the MOBA genre, you do need to like step up your game. But as far as games that already exist, they're all right.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of things that have been around for a long time and constantly being updated, that immediately brought to mind World of Warcraft. And then I remembered they're making a movie of that. Are any of you guys planning on seeing the World of Warcraft movie?
Oh,
I saw the trailer and it actually looks okay. Like, I thought it was going to be super dumb, but the trailers, I'm like, oh, it actually looks interesting. Maybe.
The first trailer I saw looked super dumb, but then the next couple trailers that I saw actually looked like, aside from like the Moses parable they were trying to shove in there with, the female orc putting the baby in the basket and floating it down the river, like everything else, like it looked like it could be like Lord of the Rings type epic almost.
Is it live action or CGI?
Yes.
Both?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But it's not all just one of... Yeah.
It's one of those weird hybrids where there's human characters. It's kind of like Avatar, where there are human actors, but then like the scenery is kind of CG, but some of the scenery is real, and then other characters are CG, but then some of the other characters are real. It's kind of like that.
Okay, so like the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit stuff.
Yeah, kind of like that too.
It kind of looked like Lord of the Rings, but then there are scenes where it looks a lot more fantasy, I guess is the best way to put it, where it's like you have like floating buildings and like weird like floating rooms in the middle of like bright magical shit. So it looks interesting.
Is this a retelling of the story of the game, or is this a part of the world?
I have no idea.
Will this be part of the continuing story that is Warcraft?
I'm not that familiar with the World of Warcraft or also Warcraft source material in general. All I know is just kind of like that the games exist and what the races are. So fuck if I know.
I played slight Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, but I never got into World of Warcraft somehow.
Yeah, I played Warcraft 3 for about a day and a half, but that was so long ago, and it was so disconnected from everything else that I have no idea what the storyline was. It was just like, here's your mission, do this. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was kind of fun.
It lays a lot of the groundwork for WoW, just because they just took it like that natural progression. Instead of making Warcraft 4, they just said, hey, we have this entire world now, we have this story, let's just do this new thing. It wasn't new, but let's just make the biggest, MMO ever.
That they managed to do. The fact that they're still I don't know if they're on top anymore, but they're still taking up a huge chunk of the online pie now.
I think they have sustainability. They've had loyalty. People are playing it now since the day it came out. Like there have been other big ones such as like Final Fantasy 11 that were huge. There was a Lord of the Rings one. I think it was Loader or something.
Yeah, but none of them have had the longevity.
Yeah, I mean, are people still playing Final Fantasy 11?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
so.
Final Fantasy 14 came out.
14, yeah, is the one I was thinking.
14 was a big flop though. But you could play on the console.
I mean, I think not on the PC. From what I've heard, a lot of people still play Final Fantasy 14 on PC.
Well, no, originally it was a flop, but then they re-released it and fixed everything that was wrong with it the first time, supposedly, and now that's what everybody that plays it now plays.
But they lost so many people from that first year run where it was just so bad, so I don't think it ever really picked up hugely. I think there's people playing it, absolutely, but it was going to be the one that probably could have taken on WoW, and they just shit the bed with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like everything that Square Enix has been doing recently. It's like they have
Squinix?
they have a pretty good idea, and then they somehow fuck it up for some unnecessary reason. And then they're like, we thought it was a good idea. The chart said that this was a good thing. And apparently the chart disagreed with what our users wanted, so we're not really sorry because we were just doing what the chart said, but we'll try again better next time.
I'm a little annoyed that the Final Fantasy VII re-release that's coming out, which is going to be awesome, but
they're breaking it up into 3 parts.
They're breaking it up into 3 parts, and then they're changing the gameplay. It's not a turn-based RPG anymore, which was awesome. I fucking love turn-based RPGs. Now it's kind of a slack and hash, at least from the one gameplay video that we saw. It might evolve from that. There might be more RPG-like elements to it. But, I was like, oh, I wish it was close to that. Because that's traditional. It's dated, but everyone loved it.
Well,
it wasn't
thing. I don't understand why people think that turn-based RPGs are, I'm using finger quotes, dated, because it's a particular style of game, just like a first-person shooter. You're like, oh, first-person shooters are dated. No, but it's a style. It's a style of gameplay, and everyone's like, no, we can't do turn-based RPGs anymore. They're so old, but no, I missed it.
I didn't know that was a thing that people were starting to say, because it's completely its own style of game. I remember I tried one of the Final Fantasy games that didn't really stick within the normal turn-based. It was kind of turn-based, but not.
Mm-hmm.
It's
do you remember which one?
What it was definitely above 10.
Well, there's different styles. Like Final Fantasy 12, you play in a party. So it's like a 3-person party, and it's active fighting, but you're still going through menus. So there's a time limit. So you
it might have been that one
as your bar fills up.
I didn't like that at all. Do not put me on a time limit if you're going to have me traverse menus.
Final Fantasy 12 did it bad. Final Fantasy 13, a lot of people thought it was a bust. I thought Final Fantasy 13 was amazing, and it was the best one of the group to do that fast action because the gameplay, the quick action selects were so. You learn the flow really quickly, and you can there are certain things called paradigms where you shift kind of your party's priorities. Like you can have a defensive role, healing role, magic or buff role, and stuff like that. It's really easy where you get 6 presets where you can literally 2-button combo to switch between that groups. And they do their auto attacks. You don't necessarily have to select the attacks. You can do auto attack, and usually. It just had a nice flow to it where you weren't actively selecting their attacks, but you could control the pace of the battle. I don't know. Which was kind of fun like that.
I just found that
wasn't turn based, but I'm defending Final Fantasy 13 just because I liked it.
I bought Final Fantasy 13 and I only got about 10 hours into it, and the combat really bored me. It felt like though it felt like the whole game, even up until that point, was still a tutorial. Like the game was still stopping and say, "Here, let me teach you something."
That was definitely the biggest issue. Myself included, had a problem with it. Like the first 9 levels, you couldn't select your own party. They literally set the party for you.
I'm like, game, let me play the fucking game. Like, seriously, I've been playing this game for 10 hours. Let me play it. Quit.
It still does that for 30 hours.
Oh, it was that was annoying. And then like the battle combat system itself, like it felt like there was, to me, it didn't really feel like there was a whole lot of strategy. I felt pressured to just like quickly select something. I didn't have time to really think what would be best.
You pick up on that over time, definitely. And it takes a while to get the hang of it, but once you kind of learn that flow, and when the enemies get even tougher, you really have to be on top of that stuff, which actually makes it more fun, because you're switching between paradigms maybe 13, 14 times against one enemy. And then when there's multiple of them, you just have to... It's like, battles do take a long time sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found it really obnoxious. That's the reason why I stopped playing. So I didn't like Lightning. Didn't like her as a character. The side characters were, for the 10 hours that I got to spend with them, they're okay. The two kid ones were kind of meh.
You like Hope a lot more in the second act. He's less of a piece of shit. He's like that annoying kid character, but he actually got a lot better.
I know. See, he's
the little kid with the white hair.
Yeah, I don't know.
His mom died.
Yeah, I know who he is. I spent 10 hours with the fucker.
Yeah. He gets a lot better when he doesn't have a vendetta against Snow anymore, where he just gets over it, and he just, like, he comes into his own. So, like, the storytelling in it for the game is not the greatest. That's why they had 3 of them, because they felt like they had more enforced fucking story or something.
Fuck that. Like, Lightning was just so completely unlikable. It's like,
she gets better, too.
Talk to a
Snow is still
grater.
fucking annoying.
Why did they have... I was surprised that they did a whole Lightning Returns thing when it didn't seem like the character was all too special to begin with.
Well, she's one of the most popular Final Fantasy characters, like, ever.
I don't understand why.
You kind of have to be if it's in the most recent one.
And she's like, apparently in Japan they use her character CGI as like a model for dresses and stuff like that. She's in magazines.
So she's like a Hatsune Miku type weird cyber celebrity.
She's hugely popular.
That's actually that's disturbing. But
that explains why there were 3 games then. I was wondering how the fuck they could...
The money was there.
Yeah, I was like, how the fuck could they justify making 3 games, especially when like the story in the first one was so weak. Now it makes sense. Oh my god, I'm so glad I know that.
Could you imagine...
The new Final Fantasy VII... Oh, god.
I was going to say, could you imagine if they did that here in the States or in like Western culture where they have video game characters as like models? Like you open up like a men's fashion magazine, it's just like Adam Jensen. Like, look at the new coat for this year.
Oh my gosh. I'd wear that coat though.
And Master Chief, when they had the whole Mountain Dew tie-in, so Master Chief was telling you to drink Mountain Dew.
I don't remember that. Maybe.
No, he's talking about specifically for the latest fashion. The latest fashion is essentially a like smaller form of cosplay.
I would be surprised if that happened someday.
Someday,
I really wouldn't
be
surprised.
Yeah.
Or if it wasn't even a video game, maybe it's like a cartoon character or something like that. Just used for that kind of advertising. Could happen.
Maybe.
Wait, well, Lamb Chops did that, like, way back when I was a little kid. Like, they put underwear on the puppet, and then he sang a song called Lamb Chops Underwear. No, it wasn't that song. It was another annoying song. But it was a song to sell his underwear, Lamb Chops Underwear. And it's like, we've got a pair for you, and for you. So, yeah, so really, like, we already had, like, a pretend celebrity selling you fashionable underwear.
She doesn't pretend. Lamb Chop was amazing and still relevant.
Was Lamb Chop a she or a he?
It's a she.
It's a puppet, isn't it?
Yeah, but she's a little sock puppet. It's funny. Before that and after that, she's like Bob Saget in this, where there was a lot dirtier versions of that act. But it was a kid show. But after the kid show was done, that woman, she would do like comedy routines and stuff like that. And fucking Lamb Chop is a motor mouth, dirty as shit. Very funny. It's really funny to see that. If you're stuck
doing child entertainment like that, like you're gonna have a lot of suppressed just everything else that needs to get out.
It's funny. I saw the woman who played, who's the redhead woman who controlled the puppet. She died a couple years ago, and her daughter still does the act. Literally does the exact perfect impersonation of Lamb Chop.
That's hilarious.
Really, yeah. So she took on Lamb Chop. I'm fond of Lamb Chop. I watched her a lot as a kid.
I can't say I was fond of it, but my grandmother always put it on because she thought it was wholesome entertainment. So I just was exposed to a lot of Lamb Chop.
I thought it was annoyingly hilarious.
I liked the song. I liked how annoying the song was. And I liked annoying people by singing the song.
Well, I have a friend who every now and again, whenever I sing the song to her, the song's just stuck in her head for like days. And she tells me this. And so I'm always trying to think of like new ways for her to witness the song. Or just like, so like a couple years ago.
Put it as a ringtone and text yourself.
I've done that. Or I've sent her different messages, like on different platforms. I even sent her like a message through LinkedIn of just all the lyrics. So she didn't look at the message for like 6 months, and then she opened it up and popped it out, and she texted me like, "Fuck you, it's stupid song again." And we've been doing this for probably like 4 or 5 years now. And every now and again on Facebook, I will go back to a post I made years ago, unlike it, and then relike it so it appears on her feed again. So she clicks what I liked, and it's fucking there again.
That's evil. Oh my god.
The latest, her husband came up because it was my bachelor party weekend, so he came up to hang out.
Oh yeah,
it was fun. There was a lot of hookers and blow.
Oh yeah,
that's all you have to really know. But he's now on Snapchat, so they were talking to each other on Snapchat. So I'm like, oh, give me that. So then I record the message, and me and Holly sing the song, and that was just our latest of the ongoing saga.
That's beautiful.
Fucking with this lady.
I'm so proud of you. That's beautiful. Hey, guys, I need your help. Okay.
Go.
So I have just recently downloaded and started playing FTL, Faster Than Light. I know it's old, and y'all have played it. I've played it 10 times now, and I almost beat the boss, but then I got this weird glitch to where all of my characters in my ship, I had like 8 of them, started following my cursor when I told one person to repair a section of the ship that got breached. Everyone left their post and started going to that room. So I tried to deselect the characters, and it didn't work, and so I got blown up. That was my highest score that I got, but I cannot beat that fucking game, even on easy. What is the trick to
Okay, I actually do have some tips for you. Teleporter is a very good one, because that final boss, you notice that the weapon rooms have no connection to the rest of the ship. If you teleport someone in there, kill that crew member, and then just wreck the thing, it won't be fixed. So you basically do that at the beginning of the fight, and you focus on the missile launcher and then the laser one, and then you basically just keep doing that.
Because
so you have to selectively take out those parts first?
Yeah.
That's genius. Okay. Yeah, because with the weapon setup and everything that I had, I got it down to to where it was only had a quarter of its whole integrity left. I was kicking its ass up until that mistake happened, and they all started wandering around and left their posts, and then the whole ship blew up moments after that because they fucking weren't manning their posts.
Was it the first form of the boss or the other ones?
There's another form of the boss?
I was figuring when you said you almost beat it up, I was like, is it the first form of the boss? Because once you beat it the first time, it's going to jump away. All the time. And then you have to fight it again. And then I think
one
more time.
Well, okay, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm done. Done.
All right, how many times have you killed all of us?
I only named the crew after you guys once, and then we all died when I warped to a random nebula, and I got the alert that there were intruders on your ship, and they proceeded to slaughter everybody very quickly, and then my ship just drifted in space for all eternity.
Fucking Let's Be Friends podcast got us again.
Okay, that's sucks big time.
What do you usually do for your naming scheme in a game like that? How do you choose who you name your characters?
Well, when it's a game that I know I can do relatively well in, so after I named all the characters after us, I had only gotten to the second jump, so it wasn't enough time to really get a big crew and couldn't level anybody up, and that's when I got
not
boarded.
a lot of time for character development.
Yeah, I got boarded and killed, so it was relatively early on, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I know it's random, but still, like, there was no way for me to win that, because I just didn't have enough time to get a big enough crew that was strong enough to defend it. So, yeah, but if it's like XCOM or something like that, where XCOM is unforgivably hard, but I'm really good at XCOM, and I can keep my crew alive, so I find that very rewarding when I name people. I'll name, like, everybody in the game after you guys and family members and stuff like that, and then I seriously get upset when I do lose someone.
Have you played the most recent XCOM?
No, because it's only on Steam.
Oh, damn.
As opposed to what?
As opposed to Xbox.
Oh.
There's a life outside Steam.
Is there? Is it a life worth living?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's called a console life.
No.
It's like, yeah,
we have fun.
the second game got pretty good reviews, but like everyone was saying it's super buggy, and
I think they
got a
fixed
lot
that
of
with
they
technical
patched.
issues.
Yeah, they did have a lot of bugs, but just recently, well, not even just recently. It's been months at this point since the person I watched said they did a patch which fixed all of those PC bugs, and it wasn't just we pitched here and here. They did a good overhaul of a lot of the bugs.
Yeah, based off of what I've seen, I'm not too interested in this, so what I want to do is wait for the expansion, whatever the first expansion is that's going to come out, and then purchase the game after it's got that extra content. Unless the expansion also doesn't hold my interest. But it's XCOM, so I'm sure it will. Like, I don't know, there just wasn't enough new and interesting stuff in this one to make me be like, oh yeah, let me throw a full $60 at this game that, aside from having randomly generated levels, plays exactly like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't justify it.
RNG when it comes to aiming is maybe worse. I don't know. I didn't see how bad it could get in the first XCOM game, but there's some really funny videos of people being like point blank and like shots missing.
Oh yeah, well, because it truly is like a dice roll. So you can have a 99% chance of hitting, but there is that still 1 in 100 chance that you will miss, and every so often, because chances are you're going to, fire more than 100 times at close range if you play the full game long enough, that you will miss with 99%. You're like,
It makes sense, but it doesn't help when the animation shows your guy like, okay, I'm going to fire at this guy that's like 5 times my size standing right in front of me, and they like turn their gun away and fire to the left.
They sneeze,
like they go out of their way and fire the complete other direction.
It was a serious moment, but, someone sprinkled some pepper in the air and they sneezed, and it really fucked up that shot, okay? Happens to the best of us.
Not the best of us.
Pepper in the air.
But the best of us.
The scrubs amongst us.
Yeah.
I don't want no scrubs.
XCOM.
Scrubs is the guy that ain't getting no love from me.
Scrubs within. Scrubs unknown.
Scrubs unknown. So
did you guys see that news thing today about the thing called the Starshot?
No.
What is it?
Okay, so Stephen Hawking and
oh wait, yes I did.
Dude, Yuri Milner.
I read that during my lunch.
Talked about there was like a stream, and they were talking about this new way of traveling at 100 million miles an hour, trying to get to Alpha Centauri, our most closest star.
Pretty fast.
So they came up with like this very, very cheap, apparently, way to do it. Like it could basically cost an iPhone to make this thing. So they have a nanocraft, or what I like to call Tejan-sized craft, because I'm going to get on that thing. They have a giant fucking solar sail. Like, those are huge. Basically, you have this giant sail and this, like, fucking, like, tiny little computer.
Yeah, it's a very tiny computer, and the sail is, like, 20 feet wide and attached to this stinky little thing.
And then it's propelled by lasers fired here back on Earth. So basically, we're just shooting it with lasers, and that's enough to propel it forward at 100 million miles an hour off into a destination.
Using this technology, it would take 20 years for it to reach Alpha Centauri.
Really? That short
within our lifetime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within a generation.
Wait, what are they launching over to this far?
I'm assuming a probe.
There'd be like nano satellite things. Nanolights.
Very, very small with like
nanoprobes.
Super fucking
That's
camera,
what, I think that's
smart
what it's
computer.
Called.
Yeah, it's gonna send pictures back to us quickly. And now that's just to get to Alpha Centauri. Now, if we shot this thing all over the fucking solar system, we'd be able to see things within days, which is so cool. And they're talking. They're just like, this is an incredibly. We haven't figured out all the logistics yet, but like, this will cost super cheap, and we're just gonna fucking explore the whole.
Well, once the infrastructure is in place, it would be super cheap. But building the infrastructure is where the big money sink is. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was a astronomically large number that they were looking at.
Yeah, they need the money now, but the end product's super cheap.
I'm guessing that's just to build the giant super laser, right?
Firing my laser.
Apparently, isn't running a laser like super cheap though?
Probably, but I think it's probably
we don't have high energy space lasers to fire at said solar sails. Like all of this is all theoretical.
What were they using in Star Wars? Those were real lasers, not fake guns.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I learned today how C-3PO got his red arm.
Red arm?
Yeah, he has a red
arm.
arm.
In the movie. Didn't you see the movie?
See that movie? Star Wars.
I
just didn't. I guess the red arm didn't.
His left arm
stand out
is
to
red
me
instead of his normal gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looked like a rusty red. So it was like an ongoing joke in the movie. Like 3PO made, R2D2 made fun of him for it.
Oh.
So apparently the story is, so at some point between the 6th and 7th movie, Admiral Akbar gets captured by the bad guys, and so they send like a rescue party out, and 3PO is part of the gang. With no other major characters for some reason. I don't know why they would just let 3PO do this, but whatever. So, 3PO and a bunch of other people go out. They capture another droid that has information about his location. They try to escape. They get shot down on a weird planet. And basically everyone dies but a bunch of droids. So basically the whole story is about these droids that are like, they're trying to survive. Like they care about survival. And like the one bad guy droid is like, he creates a friendship with 3PO and just saying like, hey, we are only what we're programmed to do. And 3PO is like, no, we're people, like we're personalities too. We make our own decisions, yada, yada, yada. So there's like a love story going on there somehow. And in the end, almost all the droids die except for 3PO and this other guy. And 3PO loses his arm from a monster. So it gets torn off. And then it's actually, this is all told in a comic book apparently too. So, in the end, they have to get to a beacon to seek help. And it's just those two. And basically the bad guy droid, like he's like, okay, I understand friendship. I know what this is now. So you need to keep on living and I'm going to sacrifice it. Cause apparently they were hidden in like a little cave and surrounded by acid rain. So this guy goes out and like sacrifices himself to like get the beacon and get 3P over there and stuff like that. And so it's just like, it's like a very touching and dramatic story for C-3PO of all characters about, and like in the end, all that's left of is the other guy is his arm. He was red. So he takes the arm as kind of like a memorial thing. So he remembers him, he uses his arm now. There's a lot there for just like what was an off joke in the movie.
Wait, so it was a joke in the movie first, and then they decided to actually make a serious story about it?
Well, it was like people were like, "What's the point of 3PO's red arm?" Like fans and stuff like that. Everybody's kind of like, "What's up with this?" And there's no explanation for this. Like, everybody was just kind of like teasing about it and making fun of it, and then they learn this story, which is now a canon comic book into the story.
Couldn't the story just be his other handbook? So he just found what was ever in the back.
No, because they found a way to make character development.
I guess.
Why do they have character?
Why not? It's C-3PO. I want to learn more about C-3PO.
Who cares?
I mean, I guess.
You don't like 3PO?
No, it's funny that they make an entire like he doesn't seem like a character that had very deep emotional attachment.
And that's why they did it. There are layers to him. He's like an onion or an ogre. There's layers to him. It's not just a goofy exterior, shiny exterior.
Remember on Dagobah when C-3PO was like, "Get out of me swamp."
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else I read today? In addition to the whole little mini probes to Alpha Centauri, apparently slightly unrelated, but still fascinating. Humans gave Neanderthals herpes because we're just the sharing sort of species.
So time travel happened first. That's kind of the major thing here.
Time travel happened first.
We should focus on the time travel first because the herpes, whatever.
Then we
How did we get back
herpes?
to the Neanderthals? How do we do that?
Because
it was probably part of the probe because, like, faster than light, relativity, circle back, come back, go through like a wormhole, string theory. They wound up Neanderthals, Ice Age, and there's a dude who had herpes, and he met a Neanderthal wife, which is basically the plot of Battlestar Galactica.
That's fine and all, except you do realize that humans and Neanderthals are actually two different species, right? We interbred, but humans and Neanderthals exist at the same time.
Yeah, but they didn't. But they went back. Wait, no. Wait, which Neanderthal? Because Homo sapien, there's Homo erectus, there's a bunch of different ones.
When do dinosaurs come into this?
Like, are we talking about Homo sapiens existing at the same time as Erectus?
No.
Did that happen? I didn't know that.
No, we're talking about humans and Neanderthal.
Cro-Magnons, I believe is what they were.
Cro-Magnons, yeah.
No.
The OG humans.
No.
Is it not Cro-Magnons?
Well, I'm sticking with the Battlestar Galactica theory. So you tell us your crazy theory.
It's just this article that I read, and they said it wasn't just. They said that when humans migrated out of Africa, it's kind of subtropical, so it was like a breeding ground for all sorts of wonderful things that could kill you. So then you have the more northern dwelling, more isolated Neanderthals, who, it's kind of like what happened when the Europeans met the Native Americans, and they just decided to spread their viruses all over the place. As at first we thought that, these types of viruses couldn't be spread if without agriculture, because people didn't live that close together. It was just like small groups of people that lived together, and it wasn't until we started agriculture and lots of people lived together that these viruses spread. But based off of our current genetic research, they've discovered that these viruses are way older than we thought they were, and that we indeed were spreading them around because we will, like humans, just fuck anything with two legs, literally. Probably
unlike the Neanderthals, they did not care much for sex. They lived a solitary, most celeste life,
and then they died pretty quickly after that. Like many things,
well, because they didn't embrace the sex and the herpes.
Many things that meet humans die, and the Neanderthals were no different. But not before they could get some sexy Neanderthal genes passed on to humans. There's I don't remember what the exact percentage is, but everyone has between 1% and 4% Neanderthal genes in their DNA makeup somehow.
Correction, I have Neandersmall genes. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Well, you're special.
Is there any specific trait in modern humans that can be tied back to Neanderthals, like more facial hair or something?
Arch of your eyebrows.
I don't think it's quite that simple. I think that's speculation.
How much do you hunch over?
Oh, so Peter Parker.
That's
how resistant are you to herpes?
Directly correlated to your Neanderthals.
So anyway, we are approaching the hour mark, and Tejan Lee is actually here. Tejan, would you like to do the outro for us tonight?
Nah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching the TFT podcast. We talked about some stuff, and it was funny, so don't forget to listen to more of our podcast on iTunes, where we talk about more stuff. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's super dramatic. Actually, I don't think we've ever had a really dramatic one.
Yeah, I don't think
we had a couple.
Every now and again.
Really? When?
Monty.
When you weren't there.
Yeah. Oh. Go back to the podcast and find them.
The drama never happens when I'm around.
Yeah. So you can follow us, all of our shenanigans, at the forum thread on Twitter, or at TFT Plays for our video game related shenanigans. We have a TFT Plays hardcore Minecraft series. Currently, we are about halfway through it, I think. So get excited,
like it, subscribe.
Yeah.
Who will die?
Get excited.
And who will live?
Nobody. Maybe everyone. Who knows?
Will we make it to the end?
And then you can like us on Facebook. You can like us here on Twitch. You can go to our website, www.theforumthread.com. and talk to us there. You can talk to us famous people there.
Yes, and we will love you a long time for $1.
Love you very, very long time.
I charge $2. Tejan only charges $1.
Yeah, but my time is longer.
Wait, when it gonna be the
my loving is a longer time.
All I can guarantee is a mediocre experience.
I'm more bang for your buck.
Little.
You think that's where that phrase came from?
Maybe.
No,
probably came from. No, it probably came from like gunpowder and stuff like that.
No, don't ruin this for me, Webwave. That's where it came from. More bang for your buck. Hookers.
I like it.
So
hookers and blow.
Hookers and blow. So, but with that, we will bid you all a good night. We will see you again next week. Same place, same time. Good night, everybody.
I love you.
Guys.